Marcus Hayes, Fight Hub TV, here with Mr. Calvin Ford. What's going on, Mr. Ford? How you doing?
Okay.
Real good, man. We're here ahead of the Davis Cruz press. We just watched the press conference. Tell me what you thought about today's activities.
You answered good questions, clear and precise. You was listening to what Floyd was saying, and you was bringing it back to get the question in the direct what you want to hear.
I appreciate that, man. I'm definitely here to work for y'all in the promotion, man. I want to
doing
make
a
sure
great
you
job.
guys are shown in the correct light. So I appreciate that.
Appreciate
kind
you.
comment, man. Earlier on camera, when we were walking up, I actually was walking in with Michael Nunn.
Yeah.
And you got a chance to meet Michael Nunn, man. It
No,
was a real
man.
special moment, man.
One of my main guys.
Tell me about what that meant to you to get a chance
It meant a
to
lot
chat with
because I
Michael
have a
Nunn
kid
today.
named John Wick. Remind me of him. You know, he was a beast. Definitely a beast. And just to see him, you know, he walked the same footsteps that I went through actually. And then he's back. And just to see him, you know, I wanted to reach out to him, you know, and help him which way I can, you know, to get him back in the light of boxing. That's what he was good at.
Absolutely, man. Talk to us about what it kind of means to, you see a brother that's been down and to reach back and to say, hey, look, life ain't over. And
That's
what
the
it
whole
means,
idea.
what it means to put him back. I saw you saying that to him. You really
because
want
I've been through the same thing he went, and you know, me seeing him and me knowing him and me been watching his tapes and whatnot and meeting him in person. God put him so I could see him. We exchanged numbers and whatnot, you know. So just to be in his presence, just to be able to reach out and help him to get back in that status and whatnot, because we're gonna do some things together.
No doubt. Let's get to the fight, actually. You got Isaac Cruz, who's a late replacement for Tank. How did that change anything in camp?
Not really, because we knew about his name came across the radar and whatnot, but we wanted to put Tank in a situation where he wasn't the only one promoting the fight. If you go back and watch all his fights, he's the outspoken guy. You know what I'm saying? So again, we back to what we was doing at first. As far as opponent falling out, we had the same problem with Evan Moss when he fell out. And we had to get a replacement for him. So it's nothing new with that. It's just going through the transition, fighting this new face, because normally the fight is not made until the two face off. They didn't get a chance to do that because Brody fell out. Everybody was talking about that press conference. You know what I'm saying? Now, we didn't get the press conference until today. They had a press conference, but it was virtual. And it wasn't like the real thing.
Nothing like the real thing actually being in person. What do you think about seeing Isaac Cruz in person?
I know.
What do you think about
what you call it, you know. He's not saying, he's saying he's going to knock Tank out, but he didn't actually say it in front of Tank. But what he's trying to do for his family, that means a lot to me. That's the stuff that I'm focusing on. You know what I'm saying? But I want to see how his will is inside that ring.
How much of with the anniversary of the movie Rocky coming out, how much of this is real life Creed versus the Italian Stallion, minus the losses that Rocky had coming into the fight? I mean,
to be honest, how would I say this? Tank is a Rocky fan. I wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm from the streets. I deal with actuals, real life stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's a great movie. It shines a light on boxing and whatnot, you know. But again, we have to deal with what's really going on. We got a fight to go into Sunday. You know what I'm saying? And this guy coming to fight. He want to prove to the world that he's different.
And in Isaac Cruz wanting to prove that he's different, watching tape on him, it looks like he comes in with guns blazing.
Yeah.
An absence of a consistent jab, mostly a hooker.
Well, that's what they say. He's not jabbing. He could have worked on it. You know, when they go in camp, they working on everything that he's doing and what he's not doing. Right now, if you know Tank is going to make the adjustments that we need to make the adjustments. You know what I'm saying? If we see certain things that we see, you know, it might be an early night. But I train for the distance. I don't like knockouts. I like punishment.
And when you're watching, Tank alluded to it up there. Floyd talked about it, about the presence of the good trainer, of the great trainer. Give me a peek into your mind what are you seeing when you're looking through the ropes? Tank said, hey, there's sometimes where my trainer might think a guy's ready to go and I can't tell at all. What type of nuances are you picking up from opponents that are helping in the game plan? What are you picking up on fight night? What are you seeing and how do you see it?
Well, like I said again, I don't train for knockouts. I train for punishment. You know what I'm saying? If Tank hurt them real bad, you know what I'm saying? I tell him, if you go back and look at some of my tapes, everybody don't
You
know.
talk about the stab.
Right.
Stab is.
And I don't like letting that out. You know, I came from that world and I had to take and put that person, I had to lock him down.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it gives me a chance to get that feeling out. You know what I'm saying? That's inside of us. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to certain guys. You know what I'm saying? When I tell Tank to perform, he does it. He does it. And if you look at that particular incident, when I say penitentiary, put the knife in him, you see how he looked at me? Mm-hmm. It was for real. You know, so again, I don't train for knockouts. I train for punishment. You know what I'm saying? And this is just a situation that we're going to go into. Cruz is coming to show the world that he's that guy. He has nothing to lose. You know what I'm saying? He has nothing to lose. So the only thing we're concerned about Tank having a great performance, and that's all he want to do. He always like to put on a great performance. At home, when we get off the plane, people act like they just watched Super Bowl. Because in the fight, you never know what's going to happen.
It's exciting, man.
It's exciting, right.
Tank definitely is must-see TV.
Yeah.
What does it feel like being so close to such a bright star in the sport, and not only just being so close to him, but being one of the catalysts to actually make Tank Davis who he is today?
Well, like again, when I look at this whole thing, I never thought in a million years I was just doing something to keep myself out of trouble. And to keep myself out of trouble, I couldn't tell them things to keep them out of trouble. You know, so it's like if I'm telling you don't do this, don't do that, and I'm doing it. It's just easy to go left. You know what I'm saying? So me staying focused kept him focused. He kept me focused. You know? Like now I look at him being me. You get what I'm saying? Because he taking me everywhere he go. You know, so it's like the roles are changing.
Definitely. We talked earlier off camera in regards to the maturation process of Tank Davis. And I particularly spoke to you and I spoke to Barry Hunter last week in regards to, you can tell from your demeanor and Barry's demeanor that Tank is soaking up game from you guys, man.
Yeah.
How's that make you feel?
Well, Tank know how I am. He know I don't like to talk about my past, but he hears stories about my past. I was like a legend then, you know. So he sit there and said, Calvin, real humble because I'm keeping that beast locked up. You know, people that know me, they said, man, you change. You know, I was just a young kid, no sense of direction. But when I went in, I learned about myself and how great that I could become if I just work on myself. And I instilled that in Tank, that he's great. You know, he's a king. You can be anything that you want if you put the right people around you.
Is that your message to
everybody,
the youth as a whole?
I tell all of them, put the right people around you, not the yes men, the people that's going to guide you and push you where you need to be at.
You mentioned yes men. How important is the outright truth on your journey to greatness? How important is being told
but
the
it
truth?
keeps you in mind to see these things. You know what I'm saying? When God gives you visions, you know what I'm saying, to see when something is not right. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, that whisper come back to your ear when somebody says something to you, you go, oh my God, I heard this before. And you're saying it. Floyd said something to me that his father taught me. The greatness of hearing, seeing, and doing.
That he can learn
you can learn all three of you. You know, so see how I was up there listening too. So he's been places that we haven't been. You know, so you have to keep your ears open and listen to when somebody at that magnitude. You have to listen.
Yeah, it's quite something seeing Floyd Mayweather at this juncture of his life. Just such a humble guy, and it's crazy because the media and the television makes you feel like he is somebody that's completely different.
Yeah, he said it. They don't give him his props. It seems like they always want to beat him up. But as you get to know Floyd as a person, he's Floyd. He's going to be the way he is because he's been in this world doing it for decades. You know what I'm saying? And then to still kick it with us, still just be himself. It's amazing, you know. So again, like Tank said, he got the best team in the world.
Any messages to the fans about Sunday night's bout? Anything you want to say to the folks that are going to be tuning in on
I'm
pay-per-view?
quoting Tank's quote, support him, he'll fight for you.
No doubt. The one and only Calvin Ford, Marcus Hayes, Fight Hub TV. Thank you, Calvin.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.